Jackson State and Tennessee State won't only be battling it out on the field this fall, but they're battling it out for a five-star defensive end out of Georgia. We're going to talk about it and what it could mean to the programs after the bumper. What's good people? What is good people? My name is JeffLightsyJr with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, Jackson State and Tennessee State are on the recruiting trail and hitting the recruiting trail hard because, as we know, the uptick in HBCU football recruiting has been bananas over the last year. It has been crazy and great to see that they are out there not only offering top talent both in the transfer portal and out of high school, but they're getting commitments and signees and kids on campus, top talented kids. We've seen Tennessee State land transfers from Ohio State and other big time programs. We've seen Jackson State obviously land the number one recruit in the country, and so they're not stopping their recruiting momentum. And so both schools are after a young man by the name of T.A. Cunningham. That is right, T.A. Cunningham, out of Georgia, out of Johns Creek, Georgia, Atlanta suburb, class of 2024, 6'6", 265 pounds, consensus five-star across almost every major recruiting service. Let's take a look at Twitter, where Mr. T.A. Cunningham posted this, and he also did something else that lets us know Tennessee State is in on him as well. So T.A. posted this. He said, blessed to receive an HBCU offer from the Go JSU Tigers. Now, we know Jackson State, they're in on the recruits. They're trying to get the best of the best. They got Travis Hunter. They got Kevin Coleman. They got some great players, but they aren't the only ones vying for the services of Mr. T.A. Cunningham. And T.A. also has what seems to be a younger brother or sibling named T.K. Cunningham, class of 2026. So he is a young bull. Young bull also receiving offers from the likes of Tennessee State, the Gremlins, and so on and so forth. But I want to show you this as well. Let me go ahead and show you this. Now, TA was actually at Tennessee State. He was in Nashville. He was in Roar City just a couple of weeks ago. So Tennessee State and head coach Eddie George seems to be recruiting him directly, and they seem to be in on the young man's talent. They seem to try to get in early because he is only a class of 24, so he is only a rising junior. He just finished up his sophomore season, but you see the coaches notice the talent. The coaches know what kind of talent this young man is, and they're trying to get him on campus, trying to get him into the experience, trying to ingratiate themselves into for his recruiting services, for his services to be on their campus and play football for their teams. And this is great because, like I said earlier, this only continues to raise the bar in HBCU recruiting to where it used to be and where it should be and where it's going. So I'm glad to see this. Now let's take a look at Mr. TA's 247 recruiting site. I love 247 because they do the composite. That's my favorite. 5-star, 6'6", 265 pounds. You got to think this young man's a sophomore in high school. He's finishing up his sophomore year. He's a rising junior. 6'6", 265. My gosh. That is a big man. That is a large and in charge human being. 5-star, as you see. Now, right now, 247, this is early because none of it matters until you sign on the dotted line. And even after that, you can ask for a release. But they have him predicted. At least one crystal ball has him going to Oklahoma. It's way too early. That doesn't matter. That doesn't mean anything. But what does matter is these 5 stars. That lets us know he's a baller. What also matters are some of these other offers. Alabama State is in on the young man. Alcorn is in on the young man. And as we know, Jackson State and Tennessee State. This is great because this shows that all the HBCUs, not just JSU and TSU, all the HBCUs notice this talent. All the HBCUs are stepping up their recruiting. And we've seen what Alabama State has been able to do recently. They got a transfer from Auburn. They got a transfer from what was he from? Florida State. They got a transfer from a linebacker from Florida State, a quarterback from Auburn. So Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. down there at Alabama State is going in for great players as well. Coach McNair, we know the McNairs and what they've been able to do at Alcorn. He's going after top-ranked talent. I love to see it, man. It's great to see, and that just tells you why broadcasting rights are being fought over, because top talent is being recruited by the HBCUs. And over the next year and two, we're going to continue to see a few here, a few there, sprinkle into some of these other schools and not just Jackson State. Like I said, Alabama State has made their mark in the recruiting through the transfer portal. Tennessee State has made their mark through recruiting in the transfer portal. Don't be surprised if all Mississippi Valley went out and got some great players via the transfer portal this past offseason over the before signing day. So don't be surprised. Some of these other SWAC schools are going to get in on some of these players. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about not just TA, but any recruit, and why it's important for these schools to recruit these young men out of high school, even if you don't land them. You're not going to land everybody. TA might very well choose Oklahoma or Alabama or Arkansas or somewhere else, and not Alcorn, and not initially, right? But because of the transfer portal, we're seeing a lot of these young men, they'll choose Oklahoma, they'll choose Auburn, they'll choose USC, they'll choose Missouri or whatever, and find out, this is not the place I want to be. But you know what I do remember? I remember taking that visit to Tennessee State and hanging out with Coach George and how fun that was. And I imagine what it'd be like playing for him. Or I remember taking that visit to Alabama State with Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. and him recruiting me out of high school. I think that's a place I want to go. So in a year or two, a lot of these young men end up at these HBCUs. And to me, that's just as good as getting them out of high school. To me, that's just as good because their talents, a lot of them have developed by being in a weight program and being on the field against some top-ranked talent for at least a year, sometimes two, sometimes three. That only helps, and it's only going to continue to help build these HBCU programs. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYjr. with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation Sports. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace.